Hello YouTube, it is June 21st, 2019, and apologies for the lateness in my personal video. I supposed to been getting out 4 videos today, but my interview out of town went longer than expected, so hence why I also look oily. This makeup has been on for a full 9 hours. I thought I was only going to have it on to like 6, and it's now 9 o'clock, and y'all know I rarely record this late at night. So I'll probably get around to doing a personal video next week if they don't call me back next week. It's looking like I might be getting into there next week, which I know my business channel is just over me, honey. I know they just saying you post been doing a third. And I promise y'all, I thought I was going to do a Caduant video today, but I literally been in a whole nother city until literally 8 o'clock tonight. So I have to do it next week. I promise y'all I'm going to get around to my business channel. I know y'all over me over there. Y'all been asking me about Caduant, and I'm going to answer all y'all follow-up questions. Like, I'm still getting emails and stuff from people right now that I got to respond to from my Facebook, inboxes, everything. My darn gone Caduant video just blew up. So I'm going to get y'all together on the Caduant and, you know, my status over there. But anyways, speaking of status, honey. Nah, I mean, damn. I almost wanted to pass up this video because my mood has finally been on a high note for once today. I've been getting some good. I'm dressed up and everything, and it's like here I am, got to actually speak up. Oh, let me take my darn own tags off. But anyways, that was my little visitor's tag. But anyways, let me go ahead and get into Mitch McConnell. We paid for sin of slavery by letting Obama. Honey, if that ain't doggone flat out racism at its ugliest and most wrinkled and sourness, I don't know what the fuck is. Now, we just going to get right on into it. Mitch McConnell had the audacity to say that electing President Obama, a half-black president, because you know they always do something half-ass with us, even down to the president being half-black. That should have been served enough for black people. Because one person was able to get in a position of power for 8 years and now have lifetime benefits. That should serve as restitution for all of the rest of us. But we're going to get into his statements fully. So Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's remarks over the last weeks have been making headlines, but the latest may be the most controversial. When asked about reparations for slavery on the eve of House hearing on the issue, McConnell said reparations for something that happened 150 years ago for whom none of us currently living are responsible were not a good idea. Besides, he suggested acts such as electing President Barack Obama could be considered a form of compensation. You low down, wrinkled, darn ball second looking son of a bitch. If I was there, I would have slapped you in the face and would have got me a damn gone charge, honey. Because you telling me electing a half-black president is compensate. Oh, bitch, I'm about to get into your old wrinkled, darn ball sack looking face ass. Ooh, let me continue reading. Ooh, calm down, Diva. Calm down. See, y'all about to see the 2 seats come out of me, honey. Y'all rarely see Merc Diva come up and through this bitch. But honey, darn Mitch McConnell makes me want to jump through the screen and slap the motherfucking piss up out of him. But anyways, we tried to deal with our original sin of slavery by fighting a civil war, which is a motherfucking lie. Civil war was based off of the politics, which slavery was a secondary benefit for the doggone Union. It wasn't out of the archalism of their heart. But moving on. By passing landmark civil rights legislation, or those same civil rights legislation, which also was overturned by 100 years of Jim Crow, redlining, black codes. And shout out to Taz Exclusive and Nyla says their videos will be down below on the Devil's Punch boat. But you darn gonna try to make it right with civil rights. So okay. The same civil rights movement that ended up benefiting more white people such as Elizabeth Warren and everybody else before black people. Okay. But moving on. I don't think we should be trying to figure out how to compensate for it. First of all, it would be hard to figure out who to compensate. How the hell is it hard to figure out who to compensate in the day and age where we have motherfucking DNA testing such as Ancestry.com, 23andMe, and African Ancestry, where we have social security numbers and identification cards, and we can identify people who are born here from the black people who are coming from the Caribbean islands and directly from the continent of Africa? How is it so hard to figure out who to motherfucking compensate, bitch? Don't play up on nobody's motherfucking intelligence. But anyways, moving on. The backlash, as it often happens with McConnell, came swiftly, as it motherfucking should. Somebody should have swiftly slapped some of them wrinkles up off this motherfucking ass. That's what they should have done. Kentucky State Rep Charles Booker, Democrat 43rd District, wrote on Twitter that the shameful remarks show McConnell doesn't care about black people or Louisville's West End, and that Kentucky needs to stand against McConnell during his re-election bid. Honey, good luck with motherfucking Kentucky, honey. Kentucky, the #1 darn state in the nation on food stamps, who darn voted against their own interests to let in darn Donald Trump. Yeah, 80% of the motherfucking population that is on food stamps is white people. Is those the same ones that's gonna stand up against this foolishness? Yet they were so dumb enough to the vote darn wanna be bigoted up in there for the darn interests of their own racism. They fueled their racism before they on him. You think they gonna darn stand up to him against Barack Obama's remarks? Oh, bye. Like I said, them fools was darn dumb enough to put they was crying on about their food stamps not too while ago. You voted the motherfucker in there. Now you're crying about potentially getting a food box. But they reparations about so much more than money. You think the history is too far removed? Tell that to my granddad. Y'all hear from him soon. Folks, this man just called President Obama reparations. ABC News, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he is against reparations for slavery in part because it would be hard to know who to pay. No one currently alive was responsible for that. You wasn't alive. I Google searched your age. You're literally 3 times my age. You're going on 78 years old, and you wasn't around for civil rights, which was just 50 years ago, where you was in your good 20s. You wasn't around for the black codes. You wasn't around for the crack cocaine epidemic. What about all those atrocities? About darn black people serving darn prison sentences on darn marijuana that y'all are now trying to overturn, and now the government can darn tax marijuana. But now you don't want to darn release the people halfway of the people who were selling marijuana. Or had little small things of marijuana. Really? But anyways, that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. Let's move on. Kevin Cosby, president of Simmons College in Louisville and senior pastor of St. Stephen's Church in the West End, called the comment the most ignorant, historically inaccurate statement ever uttered by a ranking senator. You know, sadly, there's been far worse, honey. And that's lame to say that it's actually been worse, but this is definitely top the most stupidest comments out of all of them. I mean, honey, Donald Trump got these motherfuckers so motherfucking bold to just be all out with it. And I'm glad to see my darn people out with their racism. I'm so glad to know who the darn look out for. And who, if I had the opportunity to not the self, it's my Fifth Amendment and my Beyonce voice. Child wouldn't pay. I'm telling you, it wouldn't pay for me to darn see Mitch McConnell in one dark alley, and I'm gonna leave it at that. This is the most okay. That's just a reiteration of what they said earlier. McConnell was Obama's chief adversary during his presidency. He once quipped that his top goal was to make Obama a one-term president, which failed, even though it didn't stop that son of a bitch from trying, and famously blocked Obama's nomination for Judge Merrick Garland to the Supreme Court during the final year of his presidency. Now he wants to turn around and try to backpedal and pussy pop with his darn on ball sack face talking about, well, it's compensation enough. Well, it wasn't from your darn on efforts, now was it? You tried darn on even block that. And he's not even a darn on a black president if you really want to get technical about it. But we're going to go into President Obama's ancestry as soon as we finish this up. After emotional testimony last week by former Daily Show host Jon Stewart in support of reauthorizing the fund to help pay for medical and economic loss for victims of the September 11, 2001 terrorist attack, they could have just said 9/11 for short. McConnell said in the Fox News interview that he didn't know why Stewart was all bent out of shape and that many things in Congress happened the last minute. Lord, my right eye is literally jumping reading this article, y'all. So excuse me if y'all literally see my right eye jumping. That's how pissed off I am. My mood done went from happy to doggone pissed off in 2.5 seconds. Oh, and then it goes into more. Actor Samuel L. Jackson called Senator Mitch McConnell a racist a-hole. McConnell, in the meantime, appeared on Fox News. You know where all racists tend to go. On Monday morning to repeatedly discuss socialism, none of those socialist schemes, the Green New Deal, Medicare for All, are going to pass the Senate. Yeah, because y'all are all darn gone self-entitled, rich, white, darn gone racists who don't care about nobody but yourselves. Yes, I said it. Because to be so brazen to say that Medicare for All is impossible, yet we have other countries that are able to do it a lot more successfully, yet we supposed to be the leading country in the world, yet we can't afford Medicare for all, yet our neighboring country, Canada, somehow is able to do it fine. Smaller darn on countries such as Norway, which you know President Trump likes to darn on gloat and talk about all the time, they're able to do it. But you telling me the United States of America somehow can't come up with darn on Medicare for all? Now I told you the Green New Deal, yeah, I'm not necessarily for it in its current state. $90 trillion, yeah, we need to work on that, honey. No. So I will give the Republicans on that. But you talking about Medicare for all is too much of a stretch. Bitch, bye. He then deflected questions Thursday night about President Donald Trump ABC News interview in which he said he would accept damaging information about a political opponent from a foreign government ahead of an election. Trump has since walked back those remarks. Once again, the party are backpedaling and motherfucking pussy popping, honey. And then that's it from them. Oh, wait a minute. Is there even more? Let me go ahead and scroll down. I think that was everything, y'all. Okay. Let me get in my thoughts on this. Number one, Obama, we can all concur, is not darn gone a compensation for reparations. And the fact that he felt so comfortable saying that as a person who tried to block President Obama at every darn gone motherfucker turn, and now you want to say that him just getting in office, let's just forget that he got in by, being elected. So you saying because a majority of white people, because that's what the country is opposed of, is a majority of white people, because he got in, that should be compensation enough because 1 out of 45 presidents happen to be a half black man. And not only a half black man, but a half African, because President Obama's father is African from the continent who don't have no American Chattel Slavery roots. So even if you wanted to use that excuse, how in the hell is that compensation for black people when President Obama's black side comes from a direct African parent that didn't even come through American Chattel Slavery? I wonder why nobody even brought that up. His American lineage is through his mother, a white woman. But you want to say black people who descend from American chattel slavery should look up to a half white man, a half African, whose blackness is directly from the continent and not through American chattel slavery roots. Now you would have been better off saying the damn first lady. I mean, Michelle Obama has two black parents and undeniably black and dark skin. You would have been better off saying the first darn on black first lady as opposed to the first biracially black darn on president, who once again don't have no chattel slavery blood in him. And then you're going to say civil rights, which was pretty much integration. So just the thought of us being able to marry interracially and be in the same schools, that's compensation enough. And let's get to the final point, that due to the fact that it's so long ago, nobody was around today. Nobody should owe for it. Well, if that's the case, I don't think nobody was alive for the slaughtering, the torturing of the Native Americans. Yet Native Americans are somehow still getting paid to this day. Now, I don't believe nobody was around. Not too many people were around that was responsible for the Jewish Holocaust. Matter of fact, I even went as far as to say the Jewish Holocaust wasn't even America's fault. Wasn't that darn on Hitler and the German internment camps? Yet we was archilistic enough to pay for Jews that we weren't even responsible for atrocity over a course of a decade that happened on behalf of the Germans. But you don't want to pay for atrocities that happen here on American soil. There's currently a bill in office. Once again, I'll leave JV Dasaline's video down below, who originally goes into details about how the Asians workers are suing for reparations for being cheated out of pay for working on the railroads. But the black people who also worked alongside those Asians are not even up for consideration. Now, how does that make sense? Now, you're entertaining a bill for reparations as we speak for Chinese people, but the black people alongside them who also did not get paid at all. You're trying to get reparations for Asians that were underpaid, but not even bringing up the black people who was not paid. Now, what about them? If you can grant the Asians reparations during the same time period, why can't the black folks get paid? And that's your documented evidence right there, since you got enough to bring up the issues on Asians not getting their fair share pay. Why not they're gonna bring up the issue of the black folks that did not get paid at all? I'm waiting, McConnell. Also, the Jewish Holocaust. Not only did you get paid out once, but then you got paid out a second time in the 2010s by President Obama, of all things. So you're toting around a half-black president who does not have the same black lineage as the American black people that you're trying to darn on talk down upon, who actually benefited Jewish community more than the darn on black community. Which shows that he was more like, rightfully so though, because he was brought up by his white mother. So it all makes sense that the Jews got reparations for a second time, and black people during out the whole 8 years of President Obama's darn on term, reparations didn't even come up. But once again, you're using Obama as a form of compensation, but what has Obama done even towards this such? Not a damn thing. But I'd love to know y'all thoughts on this. Like I said, this shit pissed me off so much, it had my motherfucking darn gone right eye jumping. That he had the audacity to use a half African president who don't have no darn on American Chattel Slavery blood in him as a way to say it should be compensation for the 40 million people who were disenfranchised to this day based off of something as superficial as skin color and a tightness of a darn gone curl pattern. But we should just get over it. Because nobody was around today, yet you still benefit off of it, yet you still perpetuate it, yet you still darn gone doing redlining every motherfucking election. And if it was still not a problem today, how come we darn gone polls switching out results in black areas in Florida, North Carolina, and Alabama and Georgia? How come we had to go through a 9-week investigation in the 9th district in North Carolina towards Fayetteville if we wasn't still dealing with redlining? How come darn gone we dealing with all these polices being caught on the job racially profiling people, shooting people down, and then the officers getting unjust sentences? Darn gone Michael Noah, an Ethiopian, darn gone got 12 years for accidentally shooting a warning shot that killed a white Australian woman. But then y'all gave only 7.5 years to the officer that was responsible for gunning down and unloading all his doggone bullets into Laquan McDonald. He did 16 rounds of somebody who was running away and got 7.5 years. Yet, an officer who actually had reason to believe that he thought his partner was in danger shot off one bullet, and he got 12 years. Where was the NRA? And once again, where was the NRA for Michael Noah? At no point in time did the NRA, the National Gun Rights Association, came out to defense of Michael Noah. But you was there towards all the other people who darn gonna shot people down execution style. Nobody darn gonna mentions about how George Zimmerman took darn gonna law into his own hands and make excuses for him like he's an officer. Where was the respect the police officers in the Blue Lives Matter when darn gone Zimmerman disrespected the darn gone dispatcher and still went after Trayvon Martin? Yeah, there's no, once again. But with the here McConnell, whatever the fuck his name is, they're gonna say that all reparations should not be paid out, even though we still dealing with all these issues today. You have black people about 5 shades darker than me who look more unambiguously black. Mr. 3 first names, yeah, I'm calling you on out too. Would darn go as far as the side with this bullshit. You actually have black people who side with this. And this, oh my God, that's going to be a whole nother video within itself of why we ain't got nowhere. Because then you have people like them, darn who's trying to kiss up the massa, trying to say we don't need reparations because it's so long ago. Okay, if that was the case, nobody is ever able to explain with me without some backlash. Hell, you two might even try to flag me down on this. If it was so long ago, then why in the fuck did Jewish people got paid out again in the 2010s for something that happened over 70 years ago? I'll wait. And Bernie Sanders, why was you darn the first one with your Jewish ass that agreed to something for a second payout? Now you already got your payout. You damn gone near 80 years old, so you was around for the first round of reparations. But you signed that darn bill for your darn people to get another round of reparations, even though you was already paid reparations. But then when it comes to black people, you have the audacity to say it's too divisive. See, I'm getting all you motherfuckers together. See, everybody wants to darn jump on McConnell's darn ball sack looking ass. But bitch, we want to let the liberal ball sacks go. No, bitch, I'm getting y'all all the motherfucking together. Because Bernie Sanders ain't no goddamn better. Joe Biden's motherfucking ass ain't no goddamn better with his darn comments talking about boy. See, all of them all in the same damn boat. Just darn different flags, different motherfucking animal representations. But all of them different. One's more subtle, one's more motherfucking vocal with the shit. Which is why y'all ain't even heard me mention Bernie Sanders on my damn platform. Honey, fuck that shit. I go to Andrew Yang before I go to motherfucking Bernie. And that this just is what it is. Bernie don't piss me off so motherfucking much. It ain't nothing that he could propose really that will get me up on his darn side at all. Fuck that shit. I go Republican. At least they darn go. At least Donald Trump's darn go outright blatant and honest with his shit. I'd rather deal with a darn honest motherfucker liar who I can see the shit coming versus somebody who's trying to pretend that they for all of everybody. And then when it truly comes to it, all of a sudden now shit's divisive and we can't that's darn gonna divide in the country. But was it dividing the country when your ass got paid out again for something that happened 70 years ago? Now, I'm not saying that you wouldn't darn gonna deserve reparations. Everybody who suffered the atrocity from the Japanese to the darn gone Native Americans, y'all definitely deserve the reparations. But I'm trying to figure out why can we find a way to pay reparations for something that happened centuries ago with Native Americans. We can find the reparations for Japanese people. We can find the reparations for Jewish people for stuff that happened during a time frame that most of us wasn't around. But somehow we can't do that same courtesy towards black people. And it's a documented history that we actually still going through shit to this day. The crack epidemic was only 20 years ago. Civil rights was just darn gone 50 years ago. That's most people's darn gone grandma. But you want to say you wasn't around, but you was around for nearly every darn on atrocity that happened to black people but darn on slavery. You was around for nearly everything else. You is 80-some years old. You was around for darn on Black Wall Street. Your ass was a damn around from the Tuskegee darn on the Spearman. Your ass was around for World War motherfucking 2, where we was darn on drafted in the darn on serve a country that I can come back home and I would still have to walk in the back. They darn gonna get a plate to eat. And then I get darn gone experimental drugs are darn gonna pump through me. But you think we don't deserve reparations, even though there's a numerous documented evidence to this day showing that we are suffering as a people. And then it gets even worse. You won't even go as far as to even entertain the notion of a study for reparations. Now you know that's bad. And then I'm going to include this news clip right here from darn gone my local news that let me just show y'all real quick.
I encourage all North Carolinians to reflect on the history, bravery, contributions of African Americans across our state and nation. Historic moment at our nation's capital. For the first time in more than a decade, Congress held a hearing on reparations.
It's about time.
Right now, today, we have a historic opportunity to break the silence, to speak to the ugly past, and talk constructively about how we will move this nation forward.
Senator Cory Booker, activist, and actor Danny Glover and writer Lisa Coates were among those who testified in front of a House committee Wednesday to discuss what the country might owe descendants of slaves.
What the hell you mean, might? Shoot, it's a guarantee we are owed.
This hearing is
Everybody else got their darn gone payment. Where is off?
struggle of African Americans to secure reparations for the damages inflicted.
I had to rewind this moment right here.
Struggle of African Americans to secure reparations for the damages inflicted by enslavement and post-emancipation and racial exclusionary policies.
A 2016 point taken Marist poll found that 68% of Americans were opposed to paying cash reparations to descendants of slaves.
So let me get this straight. So we can pay the Jewish community for a Holocaust that America did not start, and then pay them out another darn on reparations as late as the 2010s. We can pay out Native Americans for the atrocities that they have gone through. We can darn on propose reparations for Chinese railroad workers, but you talking about 2/3 of America don't want to pay for reparations for black descendants of enslaved Africans. Get the fuck up out of here.
So as y'all seen from there, they even went as far as to say 2/3 of America is opposed to reparations. Now, mind you, America is opposed of what, about 70% white people, 15% black, 15% black, 2% Native American, so that's 17%. Hispanics have now surpassed us and are predicted to be around 18%. So that now rounds it out to 35% of America is Native American, Hispanic, and Black. Asians, I'd say, will make up with what, another 5%. So 60% of America is overwhelmingly white. Just an estimate. And you telling me 68% of America oppose reparations. Now, I don't want to say that all those 60% that oppose are white people. Because, number one, there's not even that many white people in America. That means that what's even worse is you have Hispanics, some Asians, some Native Americans, and most sadly, Black people who are so darn brainwashed, who are so in their darn ways of cooning, that they darn would deny reparations towards their own people. I mean, I just can't make sense of this shit. Because how much we can darn try to blame white racists for everything, honey, even during slavery times, only 5% of the population of white people owned slaves. Now, if only 5% only owned slaves, why did slavery last so long? I can tell you why. Because even during those days, it was more darn racially complicit people that were darn inadvertently for it than darn the ones who owned the slaves. And it's the same today, which is why we haven't gotten nowhere. Which is why when it comes to issues like this, we're still in the same boat. Because you have the Bernie Sanders and the Joe Bidens who are act like they're smiling in your face, but when it really comes down to it, they don't get called out for it. You have a whole darn a network called the Young Turks that supposed to be so-called quote-unquote brown skin because they got a little bit of deepness to their darn European complexion. Based off the census, your ass would still be classified as white, but you got a little bit of brown tan to you. You're not even dark as J-Lo. At least J-Lo can say she got some indigenous Indian in her. You just straight up European over there, Sheik and Anna Kasparian. You darn the same darn race as darn the Kardashians with their fake tans and lip injections. If anybody wants to know what the Kardashians look like before motherfucking darn injections and shit, look at darn Anna on the Young Turks. Now, and the reason why I'm calling them out is because neither one of them call out Bernie Sanders on these comments about divisiveness, but you can call out everybody else. Like I said, liberals are just as worse off as darn Republicans. At least the Republicans are bold enough to now come out and darn be brazen with their shit. At least I can at least appreciate Mr. Ballsack McConnell or whatever the fuck his name is for being bold and brazen with it, like Donald Trump. But y'all darn y'all think the solution is to bring in somebody who said reparations is divisive. But he darn it wasn't divisive when you darn paid your people though in the 2010s. That wasn't even 5 years ago. Now, with that being said, like I said, I'd vote for Donald at this point. Honey, if y'all want to know who would make me vote for Donald Trump, honey, it would be Bernie Sanders. Now, Joe Biden, you haven't darn took me all the way there where I would go for darn Trump over you, but bitch, you about pushing it too. You about pushing it too. But darn Bernie Sanders would be the one that would make me go over to the Trump team. I'll tell you that right motherfucker now. I hate to say it, and y'all know I'm not a Trump fan at the least bit. I always drag that motherfucker orange darn tiny hand looking motherfucker darn hoe. Oh, toupee and darn trollop. But that's the one motherfucker person that if y'all want, you want to see a darn black independent from North Carolina vote for darn Donald Trump, honey, put darn Bernie Sanders up against his ass. Honey, I tell you right now, y'all can be mad at me, thumbs down. I don't give two damn. I will vote for Donald Trump before I vote for that motherfucking darn Bernie Sanders. Because like I said, at least darn gone Donald Trump is just doing this for his position, getting his money. At least he darn gone somewhat faking the phone. Even though he's racially complicit. I don't believe Donald Trump is truly racist. Let me tell you that now. He's racially complicit. But at least he's the racially complicit that's going to be darn on brazen forward with his shit. But meanwhile, you have somebody who's trying to run on the guise of a civil rights leader because he marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. And what did Dr. Martin Luther King say? Sometimes to be the closest one to you to sabotage you. Honey, how do you think they was able to get the darn pinpoint locations to assassinate his ass? Honey, it was didn't it come out that it was one of the closest people to him that was marching alongside him that set his ass up? A black person at that. So miss me with the bullshit of Bernie Sanders marching alongside. Honey, he was in his 22. Honey, something told me he was darn gonna just setting it up to look cute to get in the campaign trail any damn way. Because what has he done since then? Except try to throw Hillary Clinton under the bus for the crime bill that he also voted for. Y'all threw the crime bill on the one woman who didn't have the darn on even the power to even suggest the darn on change as the first lady. But up until now, and I've been saying this shit for years, now people are catching on to. But listen to what I said back when I was darn on the Hillary Clinton campaign. Y'all was so quick to throw her under the bus for a crime bill, but y'all didn't even address Joe Biden, who was the author of the crime bill. Y'all didn't never address Bernie Sanders, who's now on the 2020 campaign talking about all the benefits that the 1994 crime bill did. But when it came to Hillary Clinton saying that same shit, y'all didn't let her have the benefits of it. Y'all gave all the negatives to her. But Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders are now on the 2020 campaign talking about the benefits that they did. But when Hillary Clinton talked about the benefits, y'all darn gonna trash her and talk about why didn't she darn gonna try to change it as the first lady. But y'all was in the Senate, and I do believe the Senate is the one that actually proposes and can make changes to laws. As a matter of fact, with the Senate and the House, y'all can override the president, who was currently going through the Monica Lewinsky scandal. So the question is, why you talking about why Bill and Hillary Clinton didn't darn gonna change nothing? Because they physically can't change it. The only thing darn gonna Bill Clinton could do was to propose a change to the motherfucker Senate. It still lies within the Senate to darn gonna overrule. And if the Senate wants to do it without the president, guess what? They actually have the power to with the House with a 2/3 majority vote. So the real question is, why didn't the Senate and the House do anything? These people are still in office to this day. The darn I don't like to hear about darn Bill Clinton, who was in office for 8 years, and that was the only thing you can really tie him to, which he didn't have control over on changing because he was going through his darn scandal, and y'all was trying to impeach him. So, the last thing he was on his mind was any type of bill at that moment. But what was y'all excuse for darn still allowing it to go through to this day? But y'all darn having sanctuary cities and shit for people strung out on heroin though. But you darn want to still punish people and frame people with crack rocks. We see darn police footage of a darn officer planting a crack rock on a man for speeding. That's still a punishable offense to have crack on you, knowing that the crack cocaine epidemic was funded in by China, perpetuated by white people to disenfranchise black folks. This is all well-documented evidence, but you still darn trying to frame people with crack rocks, even if they ain't smoking crack. But you darn giving out needles and literally enabling heroin addicts. You're not even trying to fix up your own folk. See, this is why I have to separate white people from white supremacists. Because white supremacists are so motherfucking trifling that they don't even give a damn about poor white folks. Y'all darn on secondary trash to them too. Y'all might not be worse off as black people, but honey, look what darn on Donald Trump did for Kentucky once he was done getting y'all vote. Y'all was among the first state that suffered the worst through the food stamp epidemic of y'all stamps being taken away and potentially getting food boxes. Now y'all crying left and right. Hell, look at the darn on soldiers. Now you darn gone hollering at a bunch of darn on football players in a private institution. I don't give a fuck what the NFL, NBA, or whatever's doing. You're supposed to be the president of the United States. Instead of creating policies for the betterment of people, you call them darn on football players sons of bitches. And y'all talking about, oh, it's a disrespect to the flag. It's a disrespect to our soldiers. No, what's disrespectful is those same people who say that bullshit is going by the bridge every day where a homeless veteran is underneath the bridge and you don't hold your president accountable for the darn homelessness. Why in America, where we have enough money to have more military power than everybody in the world combined times 8, are we having homeless veterans? We have trillions of dollars. We have more stockpile weapons than every other nation in the world combined times 8. Yet you telling me that there is numerous darn homeless veterans? There shouldn't be one with the amount of money that we have. They went and served their country, which is something that our darn bone spurring president, whose darn bone spurs jump from foot to foot, didn't have the courage to do. Yet you darn want the darn praise up Trump talking about patriotism, calling out NFL players. But meanwhile, you ain't doing nothing for the homeless veterans who actually darn serve the country. Matter of fact, you went as far as to kick out a certain group of them. Now, regardless of what y'all feel about transgenders, they did something that you didn't do. They served the country, Mr. President McConnell, because I don't think your motherfucking darn awkward looking ass served the day either. But you darn kick them out for simply being who they are. Because regardless of whether they on hormones or whatever, they still had to pass the physical just like the next person. And matter of fact, the average transgender darn person in the Army looked a lot more shapely than the ones that you have in now. You wouldn't believe, and I'm 15 minutes from darn Fort Bragg. I wax numerous darn guys, and they jump up off my tongue. Woo! Really, bitch? You supposed to be defending the and I'm sorry to my clients, but I got to call y'all out, honey. Y'all supposed to be defending our country, and you can't even handle getting some hair removed off your chest. You supposed to be able to go through desert storms and darn crawl on through the water and shit, and you jumping because of some wax? Woo! Darn got a belly on you, ain't an ab in sight. And I ain't saying that you got to be shaped like motherfucking G.I. Joe, but bitch, I didn't think you should be looking like some of these darn cops. You got a darn whole fupa. Fupa, fupa, foobity doo. What the fuck's going on with you? What the fuck's going on when you got motherfucking army active duty with a fupa? Not veterans, but you got darn active duty who can't even darn run down the motherfucking street, bitch. But you want to talk about transgenders not being able to physically go in there. But bitch, every darn transgender man I've darn seen is shaped like motherfucking John Cena. They darn shaped like darn this is the big, no, not the Big Show, but honey, shaped like John Cena, The Rock. This was cooking. I ain't seen not one out of shape darn transgender person, male or woman. I ain't seen, and no shade to the big dick bitch T.S. Madison, but I ain't seen no transgender woman shaped all out there like T.S. Madison. Honey, I see them looking more like a Mia Scott and a Lavon Cox as opposed to anything. But you darn want to kick out them, and they among the most physically fit in the motherfucking arm. But anyways, that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. This was supposed to address one person, but I couldn't help myself but to bring all the motherfuckers in this. Because now that I got to thinking about it, honey, at least McConnell with his darn awkward looking ass. Let's go ahead and zoom back to his motherfucking face. At least he was bold enough that darn come out and say his bullshit. See, even my darn computer don't even want to zoom in on his face too long. Y'all see how my darn computer won't even stay on his darn face? I'm telling you. This just pissed my whole week off. He had the audacity to say a half African president that don't got no American Chattel Slavery roots is darn compensation to 40 million people. Then you have Donald Trump with his darn rhetoric, darn making it where transgender and gay, and then doing Pride Month nonetheless. Y'all just going after everybody. But then y'all conscious folks want the darn still jump into the trap of darn dividing. I mean, y'all darn talk about LGBT and all this. And not seeing that they trying to divide all of us up, not to get on their ass. Because there's strength in numbers. And what separated us from the 60s versus now is, honey, when Martin Luther King was marching down the motherfucking road, guess what? There was gay people down there marching too. Because the LGBT rights was not nothing new. Y'all talking about all these darn privileges and shit that darn LGBTs have over black folk. Yet y'all not even paying attention that they try to make it where a transgender can't even go to the doctor without possibility of being denied. Oh, I'm a Christian, so I don't have to uphold my darn medical rights of to serve everybody regardless. Now Donald Trump has gave me the right to deny you the basics of even darn getting seen by a doctor. Now I ain't talking about for a sex change. I'm talking about even if the darn transgender want to go and get a mere checkup. If a transgender gets shot and the neurologist happens to have Christian values, that darn neurologist can wait for somebody else to come in at the expense of that transgender person's life. Oh, I can't even go and get a cake. Now, I'm not telling you to put no dicks and shit on the cake and stuff. Now, I can understand that. But you in your feelings just to have a darn wedding topper with two darn gay characters on the darn cake, fully clothed. You don't even want to serve me a pizza in a restaurant. You want to have the right to darn throw me out your hotel. You want to have the right to deny me housing. This is what LGBT is going through in 2019. And meanwhile, you want to jump on them at the same time that we as black folk is going through this type of bullshit. Instead of darn trying to pick sides of who has the worst struggle. Instead of trying to call out, now as far as LGBT with reparations, honey, that's a whole nother story. Now, I'm confused by that shit. Now, I'll be the first one to tell y'all I haven't even had time to even look at the reparations for black people, for gay people, but I best believe I'll come through that next week if I have time. Like I said, if they call me out on this job, that's going to be quite difficult to do because of my hours that I will have to be out there. But we'll somehow, even if I have to record with this darn demon that I live with here, honey, I'm going to darn get on that video next week. But instead of darn trying to divide us as Hispanics, the ones that actually need to be, because like I said, the Hispanics are divided up into 70% of them supporting Trump. 70% of naturalized darn Hispanics actually support the Republican Party. And then you have Asians who are complicit. But I separate the ones like Andrew Yang from the ones who are beating people up in the darn store over darn you fucked up my motherfucking nails. But then you want to try to hit me over the head because I darn said I'm not paying for the shit. See, darn racism goes far beyond white people. It goes far beyond white racist people. It goes to darn people who are racially complicit. Like, look at the whole YouTube darn drama. Tati ain't a racist in the least bit. I don't even believe James Charles with his Ebola comment was it was directly racist. It was very ignorant from a young 19-year-old Generation Z. He didn't understand the whole totality because we could definitely say history is not really taught, especially somebody who was a millionaire by the time he was 19. So we could definitely say that he didn't understand the totality of the comments, being somebody who is barely around black people. Nobody was able to, he don't have no cultural understanding. But the fact that they're racially complicit in their darn gone stuff is what makes it worse. The fact that they can still be complicit in the darn gone suffrage of black people, of indigenous people. Notice that I said those different because those are two distinct groups. I'm not one of those people who you like to say, black people are the rich. That's a whole nother video, a whole nother day. I make mention to separate my Native American ancestry from my black ancestry. I am black first and foremost, followed by Native ancestry, distant Native next. But regardless, I'm able to darn on still uplift that group even if I'm not dominantly of that group. Because once again, we are stronger together than divided. But meanwhile, y'all still let this darn rhetoric go on, and y'all wonder why we can't even darn get past even a study for reparations. We can't even come on one accord. It's 2019, and we haven't even so much as set a dollar amount. Now, I done put it out there that it should be $6 trillion, and I done told y'all why, but I'm going to go ahead and do a video on that, since nobody even wants to even go into details of why $6 trillion is needed. Now, shout out to Marion Williamson for getting the conversation started back up on the grand scale, but $500 billion is not enough. Which is why, but at least she made it where she got the conversation going, which is why we had to separate the Marion Williamsons from the McConnell's. And how much shit y'all want to talk about Hillary Clinton? Hillary Clinton was the one who actually darn gone got black boys out of darn gone adult prisons in South Carolina. While meanwhile, Mr. darn gone marching for civil rights, honey, was too busy darn gone taking up the glory for the darn gone crime bill in the positives, but darn gone threw Hillary Clinton under the bus for all the negatives. And now in 2019 want to say that reparations for black folks are divisive. But darn gone reparations for him, oh no, he was able to sign off on that. But y'all keep darn gone choosing Bernie Sanders over Hillary Clinton though. Okay. And on that note, I'm gonna leave it at that. Y'all leave y'all thoughts on that. I know I darn gone went and darn gone covered a little bit of everything. We supposed to been just talking about this darn gone awkward creature right here. And I ended up darn gone having to spray everybody. I couldn't hold back. I had to get everybody together. Because like I said, how much I can't stand this motherfucker, at least he's standing firm in his words. But as far as Biden and motherfucking darn gone Bernie Sanders, especially Bernie. And then look who his spokesperson is. Like I said, we so darn gone whipped up that we'll take a white darn gone racist that will hide they shit instead of somebody who's bold for it. Honey, like I said, I'm from the motherfucking South. I'll be voting for darn gone Donald Trump in 2020 if it's Bernie Sanders upon that motherfucker. And if it's darn gone Biden, honey, I hate to say this, but I might not vote. I might not vote. I just let it. I just throw it up and let the best one win. If it's Biden versus darn gone Trump. But if it's darn gone Bernie Sanders that get that vote, honey, I'm going out and voting for Donald Trump. At least I darn gonna be prepared for his bullshit. Hell, we already done survived the current 3 years. We already know what's to expect from him. But darn gone that Joe Biden, no hell no. That would be one person that would have me voting for Trump. But like I said, y'all leave y'all thoughts down below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all soon with more videos. Bye.